My name is Isabella, and I am your Rebel Seamstress, your helpful guide in fulfilling all of your sewing, pattern making, and draping dreams. Today we are going to learn the most basic hand sewing technique, the running stitch. When do you utilize this technique? The running stitch can be used to hand stitch seams. However, not the strongest hand stitch, it is fast, easy, and perfect for beginners. The running stitch can also be used for decorative purposes such as embroidery. When embroidering, you generally use a thicker thread or embroidery floss in a contrasting color to bolden your design. The running stitch can also be used for hand gathering. Most of the time, in the ready-to-wear industry, the sewing machine is used to gather, but there are times when hand gathering is necessary, such as when using super heavyweight fabrics or extremely fine fabrics. Hand gathering using the running stitch is also utilized to evenly distribute excess ease in fabric, both for flat seams and curved seams, such as when setting a sleeve for the arm's eye or when applying a wrist cuff. Lastly, the running stitch can be used for quilting, which is the process of joining multiple layers of fabric together with stitches. Here's a fabulous example of the running stitch used for quilting fabric. These are a beautiful pair of pants given to me by Japanese fashion designer Mieko Mintz. She is based in New York City and does all of her production in India. The Indian women in her production facilities use their traditional method of quilting called kantha, by stitching together vintage saris to make beautiful signature textiles. Now let's make a sample of the running stitch together. Grab your needle, thread, sewing snips or scissors, and 2 pieces of fabric. On this channel, I will always guide my students to use strips of muslin, 8 inches long and 3.5 inches wide, in order to fit perfectly in our sewing sample book. You are so welcome to join me in making your own through the tutorials on this channel. Let's begin. First, layer your 2 pieces of muslin directly on top of each other. Start with a single threaded needle tied with a double or triple knot at one end. Enter your needle from the back of the fabric so the knot is hidden. Today we are going to do a fine running stitch, so continue sewing with evenly spaced stitches of 1/8 of an inch in length. The small and evenly spaced stitches provide tight structure and close control, because if they were too long, the fabric could shift and move around. However, the running stitch in general does not need to be a particular length, and you can of course adjust depending on the purpose. You will notice that using a long needle is beneficial here because I can weave my needle up and down multiple times before pulling the thread through. It also helps me keep a straight line by lining up my needle with the previous stitches as I go along. Now we are at the end, so let's flip it over to tie a knot to secure our seam. Don't forget to always cut your tails after you sew every seam. And voila! You have your perfect running stitch with even stitches on both sides. Now you can add it to your sample book, and don't forget to include notes so you can remember its particular purpose. Thank you so much for watching this fashion tutorial with your Rebel Seamstress. Please click that like button. And please leave a comment to let me know if this video has helped you or if you are left with any more questions, so I can make these videos as beneficial as possible for everybody. And don't forget to subscribe for more fashion videos to come.